was directly in the camera. I felt like.
Cool.
Where's my weed?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Ashanti Backxwash, and I'll be the moderator for this listening session today. And I'm here with two special guests, like one of my favorite rappers. We have, the master experimentalist, producer, rapper, Moor Mother here. Moor Mother.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's a pleasure. And congratulations to you, face to face, for the Polar Prize and all the success. You. Yes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
thank you.
Congratulations.
Inspiration to me, so that means a lot. Thank you. And one of my favorite MCs ever. I don't even know how he puts words together like that. And we have we have Woods. Woods, how's it going?
What's going on? I liked your intro there. It made me think of the Zambian Chamber of Commerce was coming to order.
I got to bring it back to Southern Africa, right? So yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, how did this come about? This project, it came out from left field, and I was pleasantly surprised.
I think it was a culmination of a lot of time talking about maybe doing something, and then suddenly being like, "All right, we're doing it," and then really being like, "All right, we got to make these deadlines." So, because Lucid, who I'm in a group with Arm & Hammer, and he's done lots of stuff with him and Moor Mother already knew each other for a minute, and so they would do stuff. And I remember talking about how, oh, it would be cool, we should get her on an Arm & Hammer thing, and it never happened. And then he did that show with you. He did some show with you where
yeah, he was supposed to.
He was in New York. He did some show with you, Kame, where it was some podiums lit up crazy. I was like, wow, that's wild, man. And that time when you were in town for that or whatever that was, I had another conversation with him about we should do something with her. And that's when we talked about you doing something for Arm & Hammer. But it wasn't till we did the other show in Philly that then we were like, all right, now we're actually doing it. And I sent her the track, knocked it out really quickly. And that was the one that ended up Ramses III ended up on Shrines. Earl was on the track, she was on the track, whatever. So we did that, and then she was just kind enough to reach back out to me a little while later and was like, "You want to do this?" Because I was like, "We should do something. We should do something." But she was like, "Do you want to do this single?" And I don't know, Kame, if you want to explain how that. I was literally just brought in to do this single for Adult Swim.
Yeah, a friend of mine at Adult Swim saw a tweet that I said that I wanted to do a track with Billy Woods and said, "Hey, the series is ending, do you want to end it out with this song?" And I said, "Okay, I'm sure we could put something together, And when we put together was just really remarkable that I think everyone was like, "Excuse me," So it was just kind of the natural flow. Like I said, I knew Lucid, he's incredible, met him at a show in New York and just, really down to earth, real person, So anyone that he was connected with, I was like, who is this Woods guy, had the opportunity to really dive in, and I was like, whoa, we're on the same world, so it's natural anytime, it's important that we come together.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What an incredible project. I was blown away. Did COVID bring about like any complications while recording?
I mean, it would be
I
cool
think
to be in the same studio.
yes. We'd be on tour right now or something.
Yeah.
I think for the creative process, at least for me, and I got to imagine for her as well, given how many projects you did this year, at least some of them you must have been working on during this year. I had already been working on Shrine, so it was like I was already kind of in the like, all right, this is how we're doing it. You know what I mean? Like I had finished my previous projects, kind of working in this environment. So picking this up, that's how the whole year had been. You know what I mean? At a certain point, even though it's so strange, it doesn't feel strange anymore because you've been doing it.
Right.
Like here we all are talking on Discord. I never even did anything like this before, but now the end of this year, like everybody, even your grandmother is video conference somebody. So, there was some complications, but I don't think that I don't think it was a real barrier to anything. More so now, when maybe you want to be in front of people and be able to try to find ways to translate the experience and shoot videos and things like that. That's when it starts to be like, all right, this is frustrating somewhat to the creative process.
Once this whole madness is over, your first show should be in Montreal. That would be sick.
Easy. That's easy. That's easy. Really, really great music city. Always have a lot of fun there.
I've never been. I'll go. I'm gonna need to look at a calendar. I heard about y'all's winter, man. So I need to see what the calendar date is that this clears up.
Yeah, summertime only.
At least the fall. Give me the fall or the spring. Once I saw that they were like, oh, they have underground everything. You have like underground malls, right?
I couldn't even tell you. I don't even go out.
I don't know about that. Underground malls. I don't know
I
about
saw
that.
stuff that, like downtown Montreal, lots of stuff is like underground so that in the winter you could still get around. Am I tripping?
I haven't been underground. But like I said, I've only been there in the summer and the spring.
Yeah, go look at the temperature there right now. It's crazy. Like I go to Canada kind of here and there, and even though it's not that far from New York, it's really cold. I can't even imagine if you live in Winnipeg or.
Oh yeah, no, there's no coming back.
That's got.
Awesome. So we're gonna get into these tracks. We're gonna start with like the first track, Furies. That deep percussion in the back was fucking me up for sure.
Shout out to Will Green and Shabaka Hutchins, Sons of Kemet. Did I say it right?
Yeah. Extremely dope. So we're gonna play that track, then come and discuss. We're gonna start off with Furies.
Time and space reunited, selling the true time, the valley of fear, tells of unrest, milk from my breast, imagine communities, outside my wife, Washington at a latitude of 77 degrees, outside my life, newer time reckoning, time flies like an arrow, me and a few witches on a broom, was saying in 1930, hustling coke, poppy field, we smoke. Outside the concentration camp, looking for a light.
My good-eyed devil may care. The bad ones slide over everything with the stare. Bad vibes in the vestibule in your head, it's a timeshare. Madame Bovary with the good hair, I should've stopped right there. But the trick is a trick like Flaubert. The Flaubert bones, the trick is the dead air. The beat goes, and goes. The night hides in caves and holes, whispering. She answered open road, black body glistening like she swallowed the sun. Shook it off like a fever run its course, and what did I want? What did I want? What did I want? Low-lying cloud crowd the church spire. The first liar play the liar so sweet. The Furies weep might let me be before they tear a piece each. Like he promised, Persephone swam up out the deep. Cold as fish, we kissed with closed lips. Greek cliffs, sunbaked white bricks. Silent, empty horizon, but I know it ships.
It rips through the fabric and sits like foam on the lip of a savage. Outside Buckingham Palace, waiting for Black Sabbath. Enacts the crack cabbage, rain havoc. The four horsemen, earth beast, sea beast, the dragon. Revelation trapping, I'm snapping. The women clothed in the sun, giving birth to a future light. Lift them high, Bill Cartwright. I just wanna make it right. Fly like LeBron in the night. Supersonic flight, but they don't want me to shine. They don't want me to shine. Cause I remind them of the fight, and they don't want me to dine. They don't want me to dine. I bled the pork on the knife. Feet of clay, hands of light. Cause I remind them of the fight, and they don't want me to dine. They don't want me to dine. I bled the pork on the knife. Feet of clay, hands of light. Cause I remind them of the fight.
Oh.
Incredible. Incredible. It's like such a dope.
It's interesting because when we did that song, you know, I got the beat done with Green. Shabaka had already kind of touched base with me, and so I sent Green the samples. He started working. He did the beat, but he sent it to Carme first. She did a verse. I said, okay. Worked on mine, did my verse, sent it back, having no idea that it was going to come back again. And that kind of is something that, from my side, really was a foreshadowing of what it was like to work with her. It was interesting. Is you didn't know when a song was done. It wasn't necessarily just like we each do our verse and then might send it back again, might add little pieces here or there, and when she came back, from the moment she comes back in on that verse, it's just fire to me through the end. That extended outro where it's changing, they don't want me, you know, that whole part that keeps changing and stretches out was really something that was unexpected when it happened. And then I was like, oh, okay, this is how it works. Working with her, there's a couple different songs that ended up being constructed in that way.
Yeah, and the beat is so fire.
Oh,
know, there's sometimes you get a track where you're like, you don't even have to think, it's more about like shutting up, like this kind of track just like, it's like, yo, do whatever you want. There's so much freedom and it's so much like, what do you call that? Like ghost energy, This is kind of like real deep and dark and, like a journey almost. So it's just like a great canvas.
One thing I noticed too was, oh, sorry, go ahead. Didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was just gonna say, since she was talking about the beat, it's funny because I work with a lot of dope producers. Obviously, Moor Mother's an incredible producer, and Willie Green and I don't always do that many songs together. But I tell people, like, if I get a sample or an idea or something, and I just need one beat from one like hired, you know what I mean? When Deion Sanders played for the Cowboys, then he played for the Dodgers, just the hired gun to finish it, then I would get Willie Green. I just need the one thing, the sample of one thing, just give it to him, and it's going to be good. He's going to freak it, and that's definitely what was definitely how the first 2 songs on this record came about.
Extremely dope. One thing I noticed too is your rapping styles kind of complement each other very well. Like both of you rap in a way in which it's very like poetic and it makes you think because the lines are like so dope. At times, like I had to bring it back like so many times to be like, what? It's like what? Like it's like I'm finding out, but it was like extremely dope. Extremely dope.
No, thank
And we're
you.
good. No problem. No problem. And yeah, so we're gonna go to the next one, which is probably like my favorite, just like title of the year, which is "The Blues Remembers Everything That the Country Forgot" with Wolf Weston. This is like one of my favorite tracks on the project as well. So we're gonna go into this one.
Shout out Wolf Weston.
Shout out.
Yup. Same one.
Are these your dreams? Are violent memories? I have to wait from selectively, knowing your path can't be redeemed. And there's red everywhere I smile. Resign my life to wait and time. No, I'll be dragging if I try and set my feet past where they occupy. All day I travel these ruins and set my feet in pools, brewing, run into a target moving.
The blues remembers everything the country forgot. Bloodstained sweat, slip knot, stop with coat chain. More often than not, the gaze the same. Terror terrain, price on your organs, clock on your brain. The blues remembers everything the country forgot. Hands in the rot, slaughter in the SWAT, lynch swinging on the block. There goes the neighborhood. Here comes mama with the Glock. Bang, bang.
The blues remembers everything the country forgot. We waited and we watched, we waited and we watched. Just up the block, eye on the spot. No need to talk, no this to cops. 3 rights apart, back to the plot. We waited and we watched, we waited and we watched. We waited and we watched, we waited and we watched. Patient, slow meat in the pot. Slow meat in the pot.
I just keep walking through. Keep walking to it. Ooh, I just keep walking through. Ooh, I just keep walking to it.
There is no such thing as safety, because there is no such thing as industry and technology and risk and mitigation and insurance without blackness, and of course no such thing as danger without purity, no such thing as blackness.
Yeah.
Dope. So dope.
Yes, Wolf Weston absolutely killed that.
Yeah.
Incredible artist.
Oh,
Somebody
goodness.
Fielded put me on to a different singer named Fielded. We worked together a lot. She put me on to Wolf, and then Green did this one the same time as he did Furies, and then I sent it, and I sent her a couple that he had done in this line. This was the other one that she liked after we'd done Furies, so it was like, all right, but it never actually got nobody wrote anything. And then I was like, yo, why don't I give it to this woman and let her set it off? She was like, all right, cool. And then as soon as we got it back, it was like, MA rapped on it then almost immediately, because I was like, I don't even know if we were going to rap on it. And she was like, no, rapping on it. She rapped on it. Was like, you should get on it. And I was like, all right, there's a perfect space right there. You know what I mean? Just asking of me to make the quarter 3, you know, wide open. Everybody else did all the work. I just finished it. So it was cool. Really great to work with her. And she's part of a band called St. Mela. People should check out. Really dope. And yeah, that's another
absolutely incredible. I mean, when I first heard it, I couldn't even deal, you know? It's those sometimes when you receive some stems from someone, oh, they can just lift your whole spirit, you know? And that's kind of what it felt like. I was like, oh, you know, I felt like we stole like $1 million from the bank, you know? It was just kind of like, Woods, did you hear this?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So it was like cake, you know, cake, easy.
One thing I really enjoyed on this project was the deliberate placement of the features as well. Added a lot to the whole experience, and that's how we're going to enter into this next one called Maroons, which features Imani Robinson, and I'm probably going to butcher this as well, but Amitha Kidambi. Don't know if I got that right. Yes.
Where is that name from?
The Kidambi sounds like it's African.
No, it's got to be. And it sounds kind of like it might be down where we're at.
Yeah. Absolutely. The D there, the D and the B almost sounds like.
And the hard N,
yeah,
down bit. Yeah,
absolutely.
It's I like the first name, and I don't. How do you pronounce that first name?
Amitha.
Yeah, Amitha Kidambi. Yeah, gotta ask them if they're Bimbas or something. Maybe we got a whole like diaspora here. Yeah. So we're gonna do Maroons next, and so thankful for everybody here. Thank you.
Caravans crisscrossing domes and ants crawling on the face of the moon, and 599 Trelawney Maroons marooned in the snow and gloom, and Nova Scotia colder in the tomb, and sour stinking handkerchiefs soaked in perfume, female flowers drinking in hearing runes, and I need our big guy that let me be the little spoon, and no white saviors, look what happened to the Cubans. Reluctantly sold bud to my white neighbors when they moved in. Yup, that's right, harbingers abound. Locusts swarming, you can't see the ground. The sun blotted out, the sound of plague rattling against the house.
I knew it was over when I dropped the quarter in the class. Washington hit ass looking at me like you out of gas. But what about the oil rivers? Diamond mine glitters. H&H and all his bitches. Sir Gilbert's riches. The Queen of England still in voodoo scriptures. Painting foggy ass pictures of John B. Crab. Sugar cane stripping. You don't know no name. And you don't know me. Hot and tot, 10 rounds clipping. Tall baby spitting. In the face of the clan, in the face of your man. In the kingdom of Ham. Sun and climate change Noah. Allowed to pick and choose in the Torah. My lord. I'm just a blood pourer. 10 seconds left with the earth in my hand. I'm the go-to sorcerer.
It's a race. The longest race that's ever been known. Skull and bone, chaos and tone. The bell tolled, ringing ears with religion. Calculated division from the clock tower. You see, the blood bank glisten.
silver silhouette of what's lurking. Whispering in the shadows, corrupt must, old spice blood. The clock flocks like doves. Crying was what killing is now. Fat rendered down the slow process of change. Coming, interlocking around sound, spinning discs. Moorish architecture inside voices, don't let them get a hold of the word, let alone the design.
Wow.
Well, I was the first one to rap on this, but really all of this project was this song was brought together by Moor Mother, so I'm gonna let her. This is her producer, Olaf. You were the one who had these people, that's the whole thing. Like, I thought the song was over, then there was more things happening. I second guessed them, then they would happen, and I'd be like, yo, that's so good. That's so good. So yeah, you tell them.
I mean, I guess I would say like the beats on this record are so special. You know, and I really, the whole beat selection process was really cool because like Woods would send me things and, I'm like, I like this, but I can't rap. I don't, have any words for it or, whatever. And this is a producer that I've worked with already on so many tracks, Olaf. And so, yeah, I wanted him to be a part of this project, so I sent the beat over and Woods really loved it. So it was just about building it and making it, it's a magical beat. So it's like, oh, we need a poet here. We need these words.
Oh, you're underselling or you forgot. Wait. You're not even giving yourself full credit. Give me the first beat, and I was like, this is the one. You said, or this beat, which is a very cabaret thing. Like, I'm writing what's going on? I'm writing the verse. She's like, or this beat. I'm like, that beat's cool, but I'm already writing to this crazy beat here. And she said, maybe it'll turn into the other beat. I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to keep writing to this. So hopefully that's illustrating what I was saying. I just did
yeah, true. It was just the one beat, yeah.
Yeah, she had a bigger vision of the whole song, and I was just like, cool. You're a genius. Yeah, I'm just going to do the whole thing.
No, that is true, It's just like when you hear two tracks and they're so special, you do whatever you can, to make it work. And I love a beat switch. I love it. Like, oh my, switch it 3 times, like
Me too.
Someone reminded me of the Ice Cube Jackin' for Beats track, and I remember when that came out, I was just so hype. I loved it, So it's just a way to paint in this way where you can bring people and, bring people's style or, rhythm involved. I always love to expand the diaspora, the idea that we're not just here in America and Jamaicans are Jamaicans and Haitians are, it's like none of that, I love to bring in everyone from their different corner of the world. I feel like that's just part of me. That's very important to me. So bringing these, different colors, that's how I think of it. It's just like, here's a color. I actually wrote the poem for Imani for this particular piece. But I also wanted something from Imani from her own mind, so that's why on the other track it's Imani's poetry. And then, I'm in the jazz world, so that element has to be on this record. You know, I'm thinking it like that, like all the different colors that have to be a part of this record. And I mean, just listening now, I'm like, wow, we did a really good job, you know? Like it seems so easy listening back, but Woods is right. There are all these different decisions that are made, and some of them are very small, but you know, like a painting, you put that black on there, that's just gonna pop out, or you put that white cloud or whatever, you know, it's just like these different elements that need to be there, you know. I hope that explains it. I'm sure I'm missing a lot, but yeah.
Yeah, because this was one of a song that we did started pretty early, and I would say by the time the last thing happened on it,
yeah,
I hadn't done anything for months. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, I'm gonna put another thing at the end, and I was like, what are you? Yeah. But then once it happened, it was really cracking. So
yeah, I needed one last poem to like tie it all together, you know. And then Woods came on so hard. Like it's like you scored 20 in the first quarter, and it's like, am I gonna have to do this over and over again, kind of thing. So it was like, wow, such a beautiful foundation. And of course, the producer. I mean, you know, I believe in this kid. He's amazing. So Olaf, you know, more
yeah, man.
to come.
As soon as I heard that beat, I was like, man, this sounds like you're in the middle of in the desert.
Yeah.
Just caravan in the desert. That's where I took it from there. I was like, wow, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, also, you grew up in Zambia, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever live through do you remember ever like a plague of locusts?
Oh yeah, because I lived like for a bit. I lived on the outskirts of the city, and with my grandma, and she used to like grow maize, so that kind of like fucked us up a lot because the locusts will like hit the maize, and that like destroys like your like most of your crops essentially.
When I was a kid, that was one of the first things that was so scary to me. Was when a thing of locusts came one time, and the woman, they said, close all the windows, and through the house, closing all the windows in the house. You could see it, a black Death Star just moving. Close all the windows and the doors, and then you could hear them hitting the house.
Yeah.
It's like rattling bones against the whole house. It's just such a singular experience, and that's what I was thinking about there. I think probably I don't even think they have locusts in America or anything like that, or certainly not in New York. But a very good experience because it's these things that are so small on their own.
Yeah.
All together, you're like cowering in fear in your house.
I think that's also like a Bible reference as well.
Yeah, of course, the biblical aspect of it, you know.
Yeah.
But you see why it would be terrifying to people because it's really scary. It's really scary. Like the sun, it's like dark.
Yeah.
The insects that like turns into a sort of evening gray. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I also want to say like how like just like entrenched in radical blackness this project is, because when I was listening to Maroons, there's a line where Woods was like no more white saviors, look at what happened to the Cubans, and I had to like stop it. I was like, yo, that's fucking wild. I like that. The Moor Mother
greatest trick ever pulled was somehow not removing. He's a white man. What are we talking about? Oh, by Cuban standards. By Cuban standards, even Fidel is a white guy. That was the greatest trick he ever pulled. Like him and Che are white. They're white guys. It's funny.
Yeah. Moor Mother also came through with the queen stealing the voodoo scriptures. I was like, oh shit, that hit a lot too, because when I went to like the UK like last year, I'm into like occult stuff. So I went to this occult shop, and it was just like remnants from Africa. It was just like they had like a singular section, which was just like, oh yeah, I went on an expedition in Uganda and they gave me this, and they're just putting them up, and it's just like kind of like an element of just like how colonizers just ramaged through like Africa and just like stole most of the stuff that we own. So that like hit me hard as well, because when you're growing up with like seeing the ramifications of colonialism and poverty, it hit pretty hard. So that was like extremely dope.
Yeah, and anytime you look at any pictures of the queen in Africa, it's so scary. She looks so scary. I advise everyone to Google this and see all the times that she's all, wrapped in Chanel and, looking bloodthirsty. For sure.
He came to Zimbabwe when they took the Rhodesian flag down.
Oh yeah.
Which was it? Yeah, no. Bob Marley plays a concert the same night. Last show Bob Marley ever plays. It's some bad music out those parts. Yeah, Bob Marley and the Queen of England were in the same place with Ian Smith and Robert. That's a wild night.
Fucking Ian Smith.
I really love, that's one of my favorite verses of yours on this. That whole progression, everything through there is just great. I love that. So that's one of my favorite songs. I love that verse of yours.
Oh, thanks.
This next one's got like one of my favorite productions on this whole project. And I love the title as well. It's called Rapunzel. So let's get into it.
Occluded moons, black flowers at the tomb, speakers hiss in empty nightclubs, the city hums. Tinnitus, flyness on your eardrum, mosquitoes bias, sickle cell have them hesitant to try it. Solomon or Midas, assassins need tyrants, the virus. Circling planes with no pilots, no drivers, trains running riot. Yellowing ads for new diets, LED displays, Price Waterhouse. Come see what we can do for you. Watch your step in the slaughterhouse. Streets wet, but it's over now. Death in an evening gown. Modest heel, and he had a crown. Alan Greenspan, fucking Ayn Rand. She came, finished him with her hand. Lit a cigarette, they split in the dark. Men sang from minarets, but we'd already hardened our hearts. Rapunzel's hair kept growing and the nails. It was quiet except the ocean, fog like a veil. Rapunzel's hair kept growing and the nails. It was quiet except the trees moaning as the sun failed.
Come see what we can do for you. Watch your step in the slaughterhouse. We let death pass curfew. Watch your mouth in my mama's house. The night ran quiet in the riot. Darkness guided through the air like Kobe Bryant. 08 season, the year after Garnett screaming. Anything is possible, that's physics. Said the night apostle, black and gospel. Flipped the card and the fortune failed. 7 of swords yelled, I can take one more. The blood pulse, I command me a more. It's where we're for. They up 20, so they stop the board. Grab a stick, bust a hole through the core. This bitter earth. A billion eyes act like swords, aching the pus poured. Bubble in the ocean, castle in the sand, no offshore commission. Closed eyes, see bliss, while the righteous sharpen swords in the mist. It was quiet except the sirens yelled. On some old dirty shit, a son parallel. A son!
Rapunzel's hair kept growing and the nails. It was quiet except the ocean, fog like a veil. Rapunzel's hair kept growing and the nails. It was quiet except the trees moaning as the sun failed.
Wow. Absolutely wild.
I love that song. I love that song. Child Actors, that's their first. They had the most beats on this project, and that's the first one they had on here. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I love the beat. Oh my goodness. I love this beat. Since I first heard it, I was just like, whew. You know.
It was a no-brainer.
Yeah. Like,
no-brainer.
wow. This was one of the first beats we picked, right? Or no?
Yeah, it was very early. This was the first Child Actor one. It was like this and one other, and once I started writing to this, I was like, I was feeling. I just kind of went exactly where I knew. I didn't even know where it was going to go, but it went. It was like perfect. That whole aspect of like an empty city kind of was just. That's a little bit of the pandemic in there, right there or whatever. But yeah, I really messed with this song. And it was one of the first ones where I was like, after Furies, I was like, oh, okay, this project's gonna be good. You know what I mean? Because you're like, some of the times it was like you had a piece of something and you weren't sure because the other person hasn't done their part, or this person, different things need to happen. This was one where we just both did our thing. Boom. It was like, all right, this is a good song.
Oh, definitely. Definitely one of my favorites on the record.
Me too. Me too.
Me three. Yeah, so we're gonna get into I'm always happy to see you lucid on a track list.
All this guy or something?
Sorry?
No, I might call him at some point and put him on speakerphone.
That would be sick. But yeah, I was like so happy to see him on the track list as well. The features are, incredible. It's just like, as well as just like the performances throughout. It's such high level and technical at so many levels that I'm just like completely like blown away. I sound like a broken record, but I just like really enjoy it a lot, and I connected with it as well. Yeah, so we're gonna go with Archeology with the Lucid.
I say yes. I received it. I say yes. I'm living on assignment. Slide behind the island. Trying to water crisis. Knowing your advices. Tell it to your cipher. Tell it to your cipher. Flight is booked, please leave the gate. She real sweet on guard, says she eat my face. Came up off that old thing, I don't need new chains. Sipping brown to the old J's and Peebo sang, Mister, y'all some damn cops died, nigga. Up early, frying eggs and twisting Rizzlers. Blisters blessed us, shook off the wet stuff. It's all to pieces, you penny shining, Zutani diving. What's one more, you crazy diamond? Biddy bye-bye for the hand-stained indigo. Where he finna go, Swan dove in on the centerfold. Night before the earth slept, fire smolder, winter low. Swallowing sun choke, smoke out the lungs. Two moon, following distant drums, bright and hot. I got relentless shotgun, dig a hole, tossing everything I stole. Fake gold snatched off the pharaoh's bones. Book poems, manuscripts so old, no one looking for them. It's a triumvirate, we don't need a qualm. We ain't have a qualm. It's triumvirate, dig a hole, tossing everything I stole. Fake gold snatched off the pharaoh's bones. Book poems, manuscripts so old, no one looking for them. It's a triumvirate, we don't need a qualm. We ain't have a qualm. We ain't have a qualm. We don't need a qualm. savage mode when left to his own devices. Guess the password to a dead phone, spit code and expose wires. So I seen ghosts and machines shatter screen, woke someone else's dream, a lean moon. The human eye loves green. Artichoke, jade, malachite, mechanical birds of paradise. Libyan flag on the antenna, but Alawites send the prophet home without their acolytes. Rapid ball for the parasites. At daybreak, broke bread with the Maronites. They said stay out the mountains if you scared of heights. That's where God lives, though.
A woman told me once, and it was Jimmy Baldwin's mother. She said something I thought was a little sad.
Which was?
She said, all the good people have already been born. One time.
Ganja and Hess.
Okay.
Blood bless. Ancient tomb where centuries rest. Witness of the lost ark, let me hide my text. Water clock Rolex, time for a hex. I'm vexed. Let me read my sacred text, see who's next. Wet pussy make the gun go. Rain down, rain down. I ain't done though. Mac Cobra with the flex. Gold on my neck, passed down the chain. To remind me of the pain, to remind me of the bank. And you looking like you owe me money. You looking like you're stealing from me. Remind me of the ship. Flesh of Christ on my lip. The milk you stole from my tits. It's not over yet, lest we forget tears and sweat. Load your check, squeeze to your neck, drown in debt. Yeah, with all due respect, amazing grace. James Cleveland hand claps in your face. Let's clap the night away. Wish I could hide away in the streets. I say don't wanna make my mama pay, make my mama pay. Shirley sneaks to lay hands on, make the devil pay. Kiss my feet to pray. Today I'm the last Lord shining. Acts like the door, Lord wildin', wildin'. Yeah, wildin'. Lord wildin'.
Incredible.
Reservation on the beat.
Yeah, I love this beat. Oh my goodness, this beat is so amazing.
Reservation gave us a couple really dope tracks. For those of you who don't know him, he put out an album this year, Eastern Medicine, Western Illness. He's a producer based in New York. Has worked a lot with Mos Def, Akami, Ka, and he and I have done a couple tracks and had the opportunity to rope him in on this, and blessed us late in the game too with a couple pieces that ended up being crucial pieces to the record. I feel like this was one of the ones where we let Lucid pick the beat.
He started.
Oh, that's the other one.
I think he picked. No, I can't remember, but I know he laid his verse first. And he's just incredible.
Yeah.
Like from the beginning. Oh man, such an incredible verse. Oh my goodness. Blessed us, definitely.
Extremely dope. So dope. Yeah, we're gonna get into Black Forest, and this one has Feuded, who also appeared on Shrines and Terror Management. So it was nice to
Incredible artist, another incredible artist.
Agreed. It was nice to see them again, show up on the track list. Yeah, so we're gonna go into Black Forest right now.
Words hang in the air between us, but the gas too dense. Stranger in the village, you ain't seen him since. Came through the Pyrenees, me and me picked me. It's like we was sent. Ash like Lent. Cinders in the wind, ashes in your mouth. It's too late to repent. You owe and we here to collect. You know how it go over a debt. Numbers scribbled on butcher's paper, a bad wager. We waved every day, but good fences make good neighbors. Like those mountains in Asia. Cavemen in caves building spaceships. 8 men enslaved, the 8th brain sick from searching for their makers. Frustrated. I came for the bag like Black Pete. Sinterklaas. Tossed a couple coins at the hoes' feet. Sauvage. Even took the pavement stones out the streets. Fuck it, they did the same to we.
And shock me inside the bricks of north. Which way is up on the stoop? She asking me. Temple tragedy. I don't know time, but I see it passing me. While the trumpets play casually. Sound like Albert Allah. Like why these ghosts chasing me? 13 block sound wave realities of what could be. My shadow asking, what about me? Under the cherry moon, we 3D, and you should be pissed that they chose Athena and her olive tree over you, and you act like you didn't have the alchemy. Tuskegee ashes under the gullet tree. Under this dome, are we actually? Well, our factor will be our bleak, beautiful catastrophes.
A place like a southern spring. Body awaits the steam. And once you have kissed the ring, we'll lay you down. We'll lay you down gently.
That's one of my favorites. I really love that beat. I'm a sucker for like a flute sometimes. I really love that beat, and I like where it went. It took us out of there perfectly. Just feel like there's a lot of atmosphere to that song. It's funny because we just so anyone who buys a CD of our record, it's got some writing from both of us in it, and I wrote something that really related to that song, and so yeah, we just finished kind of putting that together. It was interesting to hear that after putting together these liner notes, but yeah, I like that joint a lot. There's another beat I think was early. We picked that early, right?
Yeah. I mean, phew. I'm just, just, I guess, marveling at the production. Like, wow. I don't even, sometimes you don't really think when you're choosing beats, but they all kind of continue this journey, from the first track. I think you did a wonderful job, putting these together as far as the song structure, but you realize more and more how, important that is, when making an album and telling a story, to have these things just effortlessly bleed in, so it's not like you're listening to 14 or 15 different kind of songs, you're like in a vibe, and
Yeah, you get
yeah.
into chamber, which is also Willie Green mixed and mastered this record. He's the best I've ever worked with, and I truly believe one of the best out there. Incredible job, integral part of everything I do, and yeah, man, the transitions we sounded right. As they start stopping the song, I'm like, now I need to hear that next one after that.
Right. You're like, no, those go together. You know what I mean?
Together, like I can already hear. Because next is one with the crazy one. You should just play it. The crazy one is next. Isn't the Steel Tip Dove joint next?
Yeah, next one is Gang for a Day.
Yeah.
with Franklin James Fisher from the Years. Also the feature pics are just incredible.
It's her friend. She did
Yeah,
that.
that's
She
my
did that.
friend.
Sick.
Yeah, like, for me, and I'm sure Woods too, like making an album, you really lean on your friends, people who you can, trust with something, like, it's like wow. So not really more to say, just like do good.
Absolutely.
Oh, for sure. Like Elusive's 2 songs on here, I was like, I need these to happen. Said I need at least one. I would like 2. You know?
I mean, he
You
definitely
can't.
saved us on the other beat too.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Numb, fumbling, fats walker, feel like a little girl looking up at the system like, damn, your feet's too big. Reptilian head circling around the sun. New school like 8, done your gang signs weak. R.I.P. to the beat down. I guess I'm throwing up 80 East now. For the homies.
Poured the whole bottle on the ground, still woozy off the beat down. Ray me inside the C-town, quarter key in the lost and found. Long with 1,000 umbrellas, 100 mismatched gloves, one solitary shoe. Peter Sellers in the club, my black face, the elephant in the room. They wanna be gang for a day. Be on that wire when you get waved. It's all just talk till you get paid. And even then, it's what the Lucids say. Said, don't mind me, I be hearing the voices in your head. Don't mind me, I be hearing the voices in your head.
Simple and plain. Put that thing on your brain. Make it go blah. Make it rain with the pain. Method to the madness. I ain't holding no signs for change. I ain't got no part, no name. I don't give a fuck about they game. I'm full of the magic. Ain't never been savage. This shit is so tragic. This whole shit is so tragic. They can take it, can have it. I only write for the dead. Something that Lucid said. Wrong words get you cracked in the head.
Fresh out the room, they jump you in. Family in the waiting room, blood thick, thin, thin. Blood drip on the starter, blood thicker in water. Mom said don't let anybody take what's ours. In other words, don't come home without it. I thought she was angry, now I know it was fair. Every home a trap house when you think about it. Ancestors is near, every room crowded. Blood dud in my ears when they say you look like how he did. The gang's all here, the blood's all shared. The love is real, the love is there. I thought she was mad, now I know she was just scared.
Flag on the door, flag on the door, flag in the air. Flag on the door, flag on the door, flag in the air. Flag on the door, flag on the door, flag in the air.
Like, oh man, you went in so hard on this track. I just remember being in the studio, like, just hype, because we're in quarantine, like, you don't get a chance to get all this kind of like adrenaline, you know, with what you're working on. Sometimes it's healing, especially with me. Sometimes I'm doing healing stuff. I'm doing all kinds of things, you know. So the energy of this track and how he was coming off, I was just so hyped. Like, if we have a chance to do this track, are you kidding me? And Frankie is in New York. This is crazy. It's, I don't know. It's just like, ah, we hit those points on this track, and I think it's like real, you know. If you wouldn't imagine that we would do this, some people, but we hit it, and it's authentic, and it's fucking. I mean, it's sick, you know. Yeah, it's one of those.
It's
tracks.
interesting because I was in the studio. I could only go to this cat Steel Tip Dub. He did the beat, did a bunch of the recording and engineering for me on this. A friend and a dope producer and a good engineer, man. He gets it done. And so I did a lot of this work in his studio. And we'd always be like, yo, I got these whatever beats. So he always plays me beats or whatever. And he played this one. I was like, this is crazy. And he was like, well, where did you rap? You know, but this song makes me think about him because he's a person who has a genuine love for music and gets really excited about things that are going on. And when I record, I was like, yo, I think this is going to be really dope. I did. And then once Kame sent the joint back, like he was just so excited. Or you're excited? Because I was like, we were listening to it. And I was like, it wasn't in its final form yet, but listening to it, I was like, this is, you know, you're trying to figure out what's going on. Where's the project going? When you hit those ones where you're like, all right, this shit sounds crazy. And it doesn't sound like anything anyone else is doing. So, and this was definitely one of those songs. And also I knew that Dove really, I knew how excited he was about this track once I actually picked it and started working on it. Because I think producers always have some joints that they really love, but they don't think anyone's going to pick. You know, I'm not a producer, so I can't say, but I think that's a thing for producers. There's songs they're like, I love this, but nobody's going to rap on this, and really it's not going to happen. And I think this was one of those for him because he was mad excited about this moment it started, and it had an energy and it clicked real early on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the song a lot.
The way it breaks down in the end with those drums, fucking insane.
Yeah, really
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's Dub all the way. That's what he was like. He's like, it's too crazy. And then I remember even I rhymed in the lull, and May came in and rapped in the crazy part. And he was like, I can do that. But I could tell that he was thrilled. You know, the producer is like thrilled that their beats getting the full workout. Especially, I think sometimes in the current indie rap world, rappers like a lot of room. So I think sometimes producers who have a crazy cacophonous shit sometimes feel like having to dial things back. So when you pick those things, they're like, woo, you know what I mean? They're excited. And when she rapped in that part, your man was real hype. He was real hype when you rapped in that part.
That's cool.
Yeah, I guess also related is always been a fan of Moor Mother's production. Circuit City, just like extremely like brilliant is what I could say. And the work on Mom's Gold as well, which is the next one that we're playing, is incredible, like as usual.
Thanks.
Such like
Before you play it, I want to say this part was really key too, because I was like, where can you go from the end of that other song? That's why I told her I was like, we need you to do your noise track. It was the last thing she turned in. It was like you could just set it down in that space where it needed to go, and it was absolutely perfect. Because I was like, where are you gonna go from the end of that with those crazy drums and all of that? You can't just put on another drum, you know what I mean, and start trying to rap normal. Like that last song was so crazy that it needed exactly what she made right here.
So we're going to be playing Mom's Goat.
Get up to the front of the line, they push me back in the rear. And from the evil, mean look that they had on their face, I said, damn, what am I doing here? I said, please, Martin Luther King, I don't want to go. I said, please, Reverend King, please don't make me vote.
I say, listen to that right now. It just made me think about some of the best KMD shit, man. R.I.P. to MF Doom. Anybody wants to hear a great skit that or sound piece? I shouldn't say skit. That's underselling it. Sound piece, experimental hip hop production. It wasn't really couched that way. Garbage Day #3 off Mr. Hood. Incredible instrumental piece, and it really really reminds me a lot of the vibe and energy and some of the vocal sample choices there that Moor Mother had.
Oh, I will check that out. I don't know about that actually.
Yeah. Garbage Day #3. It's the joint, man. It's crazy. They really were
Yeah.
crazy with the stuff they were sampling, and the way Sub Rock was flipping like old TV things and the way they were approaching race, like bamboozled 10 years early, you know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah, that's really, I mean, I gotta shout out my boy Achilles, who's in the group Irreversible Entanglements with me, because he played every part of the trumpet, you know, and I think that was just like this beautiful ode to brass, you know, the fact that he broke, played each part, then put it together and slowly played, and the beauty of Mom's Mabel, to for her time to really say this, like, I mean, yeah, it's funny, but it's like, whoa, this is a really heavy statement you're saying, and I feel like comedy or entertainment has, lost this kind of ability to deliver these really cutting comedic, responses to, the conditions that we're living in. I thought that was just such a great sample. It was so like anti what so many people would agree with, especially coming out of this, so-called major voting surge or whatever has recently happened. I love the critique. And it's important to have some noise too for all these so-called hip hop heads to be like, no, you don't know what this is. You know what I mean? But you're gonna like it. And that's and that's just what it is, For sure.
And this is why Montreal loves you so much.
Yeah, I definitely love Montreal, for real. Some of my best shows there. Oh man.
You guys just make you book. You include me on the ride. Listen, man, I'll be out the way.
Yo, Woods, the food alone.
Yeah, that's
Okay, like forget the show. I don't even care. I'm like, the show. I spend my whole day eating, then I go to the show.
okay.
Like dead ass.
Now you got
Dead
me.
ass. I go.
You got me.
Oh my goodness. Oh, and the kind of servers where you feel like everyone's what's the woman of the movie we just watched? The chef, the old lady from France. What's her name? Julia Child. Like it seems like all the waiters are like Julia Child. If you could imagine that, like just like bringing endless biscuits and whatever the hell they eat up there. I'm telling you, it's amazing.
Oh man, I'll have such a newfound appreciation for doing shows and all that when this comes back around. I mean,
Definitely.
I'm sure get back to being work and a chore, but at first it's gonna be like, wow, vacation.
Right.
Food, new people, new things, out at night, I won't miss my house for a good long time anymore. It's gonna take a while for me to miss home. I've gotten very familiar.
Wow.
What's next?
I was very happy to see Mac Homie on the track list.
Oh, Makami? Yeah.
Yeah, Mozambique drill is my shit. So I was like,
Nicholas Craven on that one. He had a couple Craven beats on this. They just didn't end up getting something cut to them, but he's a producer I really like and a good guy. And he's from Montreal.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
I loved every beat that he sent over. I probably listened to them more than any of the other beats, which is really interesting that, some of them didn't make the record.
It just didn't happen, but that guy makes a lot of dope beats. Great artist. His collaborations with Mock usually are top notch. This, however, was with Masai Music. That's the song, right? Chimney?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why? Yeah. So many stories told by men whose hearts ran cold. He was sold the myth, said he ain't have no home. He came out of dirt, fell 1,000 stories. Yeah, he fell from earth on the map, upside down, fell right in a curse. And in embrace with death, he fell in a hearse. You can't make this up. Well, I guess you can. Arms expand, the real imagined by the imaginary man.
They said let it go, so I let them flow. Might catch you at the river bend, though. You never know. You never know. You never know. Human skin line the coat. Half penny to ride the boat at honest day's wages, but here you are, old and broke, tippy toe. But you the one was strong to rope. We sack Rome and ski mask, strip the pole. Give it up fast, old man muzzle flash. He gave up the ghost. Nowadays he never miss a lot. He be doing the most. He be doing the most. Chimney full of sinners, soot and cinders, gold teeth in the black dust. The chimney cook all winter. Chimney full of sinners, soot and cinders, gold teeth in the black dust. The chimney cook all winter. Chimney full of sinners, soot and cinders, wedding rings in the black dust. The chimney cook all winter. Zoes to get, more flows to flip. I suggest you all roll with the kid. I got a nose for shit, like hoes with jits. More poles than you know exist. Biatch, flip you like a $50,000 investment into no less than 5 mil. I blew the check, went right through. Hydroxy, all the heifers. Distribute the spirit and spill. My body, all the blessings. Boo, precious, my mind, body, soul is together. I testify for those in the margin. Mock had me on the main line below talking. RBI the whole squad right now. Chihuly glass ceiling, bathrobe coming. Don't get your booby trap ceiling, crack smoke fogging. No jargon, actual name. Dumping stills get pigeon English channel crashing your plane. Keep it tilted, act potty, in-ground bra, clear the game. Ease the feeling, no feeling, no feeling, no feeling. Smoke with me, or not. Smoke with me, the whole 50-piece flow so sticky it look easy. Ken Griffey swing so pretty it's like a nigga cheating. The form is mid-season, always. Faded Sports Illustrated. Used to tear the page careful and tape it to the wall. This before you fell off, before niggas put you on. This before you start smoking cigarettes and selling raw. Bo don't know nothing about an 8-ball. This before Topps rookie laminated in the top drawer. This when you thought a nigga could really win it all. Tear the page careful and tape it to the wall.
I hold space that can't be curved. Snake coil, ribcage, your dark goddess.
Actually picked way before, and just kind of had it in the back pocket because Messiah had some fire, man. And that one I just loved so much. I was just like, yo, let me hold this till I find something to do with it. And then once this was happening, I played it for Cam and she was with it. And then I sent it to Mock, and he was like, yo, I'm with it. But you never know with him. So I was like, cool, let's go. And, so then we're doing it because I'm like, yo, this is ill, in terms of two artists in different areas who I really respect, Moor Mother and Mock. And so we're working on the song. And at a certain point, he had it done, and he was like, yo, I got my verse ready. And I was like, cool. Then I wasn't sure if it was happening or not because it was taking a while. And he was like, yo, I'm going to get it. And I was like, yo, it's cool if you can't do it. But he was like, nah, I want. So then I was like, all right, well, we need, because if Mock is like, nah, I got it, then I'm like, all right, cool, go away. I was just in our studio one night. We were expecting him to send it, and he hadn't sent it. And I was there, and Dub was just playing these beats, and he played that one. And I was like, what? I just had a vibe to it. So I wrote to it and recorded it, a little piece. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I really like this. And then Mock ended up sending the thing. So I was like, yo, let's just put it together. I think it'll work. And it really does. It brings, the song goes from this height to like down to a different place in a way that feels really like organic. and that I appreciate a lot. You know, it's funny because I always think if I had like a huge budget and could do what I wanted, and I would shoot this shit like me and Kame, it's Ski Bat, a whole bunch of people just literally like sacking the papal palace, you know, grabbing up the Pope, have Mock come in, get a shot by the guy who shoots that TV show Gomorrah. The big epic shots with the light. It was crazy, man. That's what I think of when I think of this song. It's like he ran up in there. So yeah, I really like how it goes, it climbs and climbs, and then it reaches this place where then when it goes into the steel tip dove, it's like melancholy little moment, fragment of time. Really is a great transition point to the next song.
I'd also like to mention that another layer of brilliance in this thing is also how y'all used just like the mixing and engineering to kind of like tell the story or narratives that are in there and kind of like give emphasis on some parts. It's very captivating. It's really dope.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so the next one is Rock Cried.
I hold space that can't be curved. Snake coil, ribcage, your dark goddess. Hallowed be thy name in the belly of existence. Mystic knights of square fables, snake and man. Lamb and sacrifice, mothers of darkness. A priest without his head, counselor 33 inside the dome of heaven. Under the tongue of a reverend. Oh Lord, oh God. Don't come down, stay high. The rock cried, I can't hide you. They gon' find you. They gon' lynch you and call it suicide. Where you gonna run to? The rock cried, the rock cried.
Had experiences on the stage that I didn't think were possible, and then a strange thing happened. On the stage, I was complete and perfect, lacking no essential characteristics, nothing. The curtain came down, and well,
Landfill smoldering, hydroxychloroquine unpacked and boxed up again with no point of origin. Everything overboard if they board us, his own landfill foreign to him. And for the record, fuck the reservation, rather swing in the wind. Purple face, tongue black, hanging out, warning my kin. For my kind, I go out on a limb. Young king, short range, blood singing the veins. Kids play war games, untaught. Dead braves dance around the burning fort. Buyer's remorse for everything that we bought, but he'll still pry the pennies off the eyes of a corpse.
Well, that's a joint that definitely fits into the category of, again, like the other Maroons. Olaf did that, and Moor Mother actually sent that to me later. We had started working on something else, and then can't remember exactly how, but you were like, "How about this?" I was like, "This is crazy. It has nothing to do with the other thing you sent me, but this is crazy." And she did her verse, and you came up with that You should tell the story of that interlude that's in that song. That was incredible.
Yeah, I just this kind of idea about, being in the spotlight. I'm sorry, frozen. Being in the spotlight, and what's it like when all of that disappears? And that's really what we went through as musicians with this kind of, our jobs, practically just disappearing, like who are we without this kind of touring and, fans and all of this kind of thing, and I just thought that it was a beautiful connection to that. And when I heard the beat, I was like, wait, this is actually perfect. Because I had heard this beat after you did Guinness.
Yes.
So I was like, ooh, this is a great compliment to Guinness. And you heard it and you loved it. And I was just like, oh my, like, let's go, So, yeah, once again, Olaf, this beat is just so moody, but also continues the theme of this journey, which I think is really beautiful. And you killed it, Woods. Oh my goodness.
I like this verse, man. I like this verse makes me laugh. And this verse makes me laugh, man. My kind that go out or to live. Young black, hanging out, warning my kid.
Oh my goodness. It sounds like you're like jumping out of a plane while you're doing. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah. I remember actually because you did this, you had some other beat and you were like, I'm frustrated trying to do this. So I wrote to this.
Yeah.
That happened. And then I was like, all right, well, the two have nothing to do with each other to me, but I'm ready. And I like jumped in and just followed your lead on this, which was you made it easy.
Incredible. Next one has got John Forte. And, was really surprised. It was very unexpected for me. And this is like, I think my favorite one from the project. So we're going to play Scary Owls now.
Xenophobia in Wakanda, they'll truck you to the Botswana border and tell you you're deported. In Kenya, Rwanda, you get one warning. Get one warning. They found Diane Fossey face down in the morning. Wet market haggling over human organs. Cordon sanitaire, the West sick and swollen. Cracked lips, bloated feet bulging. Sick with rabies. Inoculate the babies, inoculate the babies. It's too late for y'all, just inoculate the babies. Inoculate the babies. Product of the 80s, 1885. Cut the pie, red filling, spilling in Berlin. Sickly white men clad in animal skins. African kings. Flies swarm on piles of limbs. Inoculate the babies. Inoculate the babies.
Who's gonna save the babies from all the caging? The truth is staging. Where's your rage? We all follow the bloody line from 1919 to present time. Mastered by the clock, the watch does watch us sleep time.
Hold up, I'm running, I'm coming, I'll see you in 20, my feet are in front of me. Long live love and a melody. We sink into the submachine. The king of love is dead, long live the king.
Last night it was 10 shots, one body. Last night it was 10 shots, broke the hearts of everybody. Retaliate, yeah, problem. Pigs gon' get hurt, not sorry. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the party. The trumpets are blaring, I climb up the outer tower, I see a new heaven now. Carbon copy, future bound. Fugitive gag sound. I don't know where I am right now. Can you tell me where I am right now? They drawing the lines right now. On the map, dividing the rivers and mountains up that ain't never been found. I hope they don't find me. hope they don't find me. My head on the bounty, drawing the lines around me. Captive county, the queen of love's not dead. Exiled in Lagos. At the protest, remember what she said. They aim for your head. At home and safe in your bed. Last night it was Tupac. Hail Mary. They got 8 cops. Devil hours get scary. All eyes on me, but I hope you fear me. All eyes on me, but I hope you hear me.
Shout out to Preservation and John Forte. That was an interesting song to make. Oh, your mic's off. I can't hear you, FYI.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. John Forte sent that first, just his vocal, right?
No, first we got the beat because John Forte also did some production on it.
Right. Yeah, we had the beat, and then he added his spin.
And then I rapped.
Oh.
And no.
For some reason, I can't remember the the journey of this one.
You know what? I feel like I rapped, and then he did his chorus, and then you did, because you did. I didn't even expect you to rap in the space between me and the chorus. You came in and you did 2 parts.
Okay. Yeah. For some reason, I thought I rapped before you.
I think you were the last person to go, or either that you went first. You know what? You might have gone first and then rapped again.
Yeah.
Might have done the part between me and the chorus after you did the part about the Philly.
Yeah, Philly.
Upright. Yeah. And because I remember I just came in with this. I had a little idea that I was doing, and then you had your verse, and then all I know is John Forte got it, and he wrote me back some super John Forte thing, like, this is amazing. Like, it needs to move in a certain direction with somebody. What would you think if I were to do? And so I was like, man, I'm cool, but I wanted to check with Preservation because also he's a super respected producer, and I love him for the fact that he was the type of dude who was like, yo, if he wants to try and do something, tell him to go ahead. So John added some production, and me, to him, it seemed like it was nothing. He just did it. But it was like 8 tracks of different instruments and sounds in that part. And then Willie Green just helped it all sound great. But Preservation then took that and built on it, and so it was one of the most involved of the tracks at the end of the day. But it was really cool for John to do that. It was really cool for Preservation to do the track. Moor Mother has an incredible, powerful finishing verse, and there's just a very cinematic quality to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it could definitely be in like a car chase scene or something. I mean, where there's a victory or something. It definitely has that feel like somebody's gonna win, but
oh, just send me the check, brothers and sisters. Send me the check, man.
Yeah, I know. Definitely, an honor to work with John Forte, for sure. I couldn't even
100.
believe that that was happening. So,
He's just like the type of person. He's just like a gentleman musician or something. I was like, "Hey, you want to give me your publishing and stuff?" He was like, "Go forth, my good man, good prophet, good dude, man, good dude."
okay, cool. What's the next one?
Next one is the navy blue produced one, Guinness. Just happy to see his production credits.
On the TV, I see fire in their eyes, fire in the streets. From the fire escape, I watch it eat, I watch its teeth. Dream fire could burn it clean, but it's greasy sheen, burned blue and green. Built the house with bricks, scraped the mortar in between. You don't need a door if you get everything you need. Need more. First thought when I get the cream. Cold light pouring from the screens. Mute, it's the eyes where you hear the screams. Bag full of loot, bulging at the seams. Everything a little shabby, then it seemed. Then it seemed, shabby, then it seemed. Then it seemed. Took it all and came home empty. They won't go gently. The whole world in my mobile, it took centuries. The glow unending, the show upended like cop cars spooked by the door. I'm a sentry.
Smash, grab and run, smash, grab and run, smash, grab and run, smash, grab and run, grab and run, grab and run, smash, smash, grab and run, grab and run, grab and run, smash, 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 grab and run, 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 grab and run.
I know this may sound like rather impractical criticism, but when you met me at the airport at some point, you have joined the Ministry of Information.
Yeah, but
I mean, what's happening to us? We are all becoming bureaucrats.
We are not becoming bureaucrats because there's never been, wait a minute, our generation has got a lot of problems. There's never been a tradition of us writing whereby people just sit and be able to live and write. In any case, you know that from anyway.
No, my point is made at the time.
The point is now we're trying to earn our living and write at the same time.
Yes, but you see, points of principles cannot be given out just because one has got to eat.
I don't see which principle I've given at all, but simply...
Yeah, on the cut, yeah.
Actually came to me with just that one beat. It was like, I think you should use this for something. Like, real talk. Like, that was it. He's just that type of guy, a really great kid who sometimes you're like, you really be this young and be this good at it's like professional skateboarder, model, producer, indie rap star, 23 years old. What's happening? So he's just an incredibly talented kid and just came to me with this one beat. Like, I think this is the beat for you. And he was obviously right. I really love the song, everything about it, and how it juxtaposes with, Moor Mother's verse in the song before, ending the song before, is you're in the midst of this crowd and this rage and this uprising. And then in this verse, you have this person who's withdrawn from everything around them, watching the turmoil and everything happen. But they've decided that it's just about what they're going to do for them in the midst of all of this madness that's happening. They're watching the fire from afar, from a fire escape. I watched it leap. I watched it eat, watched the fire burn. I watched its teeth. Which fire could burn it clean with its greasy sheen, burned blue and green. And just is like, how can I get the money from me to do what I need to do for me? And so I really love that juxtaposition and where the song went. And then, of course, I got my good Dumb Boots on Marachera sample on the end. Oh, yeah, I like that song a lot.
I love the sample at the end. And I just, especially because it's just like, it just reminds me of like hanging out, in London with just people that are like, look what we are all becoming. I love that kind of real talk, like as artists, as academics, all these type of, people that you meet. And it's just like, we all have this question of like, what are we all becoming? And I think it's great that, especially this vantage point that you're coming from, I think the listener also because of the production, but has this moment to also have a different kind of vantage point. It like brings the album to this moment of like, whoa, what there's so much being shown, or illustrated here. I just think it's a really beautiful moment. And I can't imagine it like it has to be there. Like I can't imagine it without
Yes.
it. It's like
Sage came to me with one beat. This was it. He didn't know anything about any project, nothing. He came to me with one beat. And yeah, it's just one of those situations where I was like, yo, absolutely nailed it. It's a must have. The chorus to sample everything. It's really dope.
Perfect.
Awesome. For the next one, we have Tiberius with Elucid again.
Of course.
This is the one.
Yeah, on the cut. Yeah. Hey. Heal thyself, hallowed be my name, and I'm many cells. Hollow bone shedding scales, with my head broken, surface to the water. Vivisect the hole in the quarters. A few is in order, not just you, it's all us. Blind spot lurk behind hidden corners. Maybe light just ain't enough, maybe light just ain't enough. If I could somehow levitate away in my present state, as I'm speaking to you now, my surroundings falling further from my feet. Peace ain't the word to play, so it's worthless indeed. Webs that I weave in the weeds. One time, all that I need, just to be like, I know myself. The choir's called, yes, wishing a nigga would. The fire walk with me when I summon from the farthest. The heart is intact, arrived on the cusp, retrofit to adapt. To biohack is a privilege, my wires as is. I'm not selling in my present position. Can I recondition my deep conditioning? Leave me in the sun, belly up like a lizard. I rock bells to wonder who is it. It's me, dummy.
It's me, dummy. Catalog of death and dismay, yeah. Oh yeah. How much can you pay? How much can you pay? How much can you pay? How much can you bear? How much is the weight? Right on your back, how long till you break? Yeah. Catalog of death and dismay. How much can you pay? How much can you pay? How much can you bear? How long is the... Yeah. Yo, we gon' need that money right away, motherfucker. How much did you say? You can't say Moor Mother without future. You can't say black future without Moor Mother, motherfucker. How you figure? They gon' lose their tongues trying to deliver broken cycles. I'm on back like Michael, like I don't like you. We left the door open for too long, now they sunbathing, they gone. One song, one drop, all they get, all they had. Now they back to waving other nation flags. The gag is disappearing acts of artist activism. Hallowed be thy name in the clutches of Lazarus. Dead for 4 days and he rose, and they groaned in spirit. Talking about how you feel it. Shit ain't shit dead when you're spitting on your head. Pop lock into the dread of what's to come. Say what, son? Think you can go to toe-to-toe from where we from? Nah. You can't imagine a block of future to me. Forever young, forever in the zone of the one. No Neo, just old soul. Out green ashy ass elbows. Mahalia home from tours, serving black eyes out the window. You wonder who is it? You wonder who is it? It's me, dummy.
Um, yeah, this was one of the last of the tracks that we completed. Um, and I didn't really know what to do with this um beat. All I knew that I loved it. You know, I just really did not know what to do. And I remember Woods was like, he'll take care of it. You know, like he's gonna come up with something incredible and it'll be easy, you know. And then when he sent the stems in, oh my goodness, his verse is incredible.
He's pretty good at this stuff. He's pretty good at this rapping business.
Oh my goodness. I mean, oh, just made it so easy. I mean, you were 100% right. Soon as I heard his verse, I was like, "Oh, no problem." And actually, I'm upset about something. So let me, put it on the track. Like he just, I don't know, made it like a little cradle, like a little bird's nest. Like just hop in. Whatever you want to do, don't worry. It's going to be amazing. I could have said anything, honestly. I mean, really.
But the thing is, I remember they did the song, and I was walking from. They did the song. The song got put together and put onto this. Whatever. I had the song. I left the studio in Park Slope. I was walking deeper into Park Slope to do something. Listen. Then I was like, "Yo." It was late. This was one of the last things that was finished. So I'm listening to the album, trying to put things in order and stuff. And I'm walking around listening. I was like, damn, this is one of the very best songs on the album, and I'm not even in it. And it might be Moor Mother's best. I was like, yo, this might be the best song. I'm not even on it. And it might be your best verse. The combination of performance, and following up an incredible, I know what it's like to rap around and after Chaz Hall is pretty good at rapping, so it's like if you could manage to get the mic and upstage him in any way, you have earned your keep that day. And I definitely thought you murdered this track, man.
Oh, thanks. But nah, he's I guess what I was saying is like he makes it safe. He's like family, like I don't know, it just felt so like you can do, like it's protected, But I remember when you text me that like this is the best track. I'm not even on it. I was like, what are you talking about? Because we had just wrapped up John. We had just wrapped up Gang for a Day. I was just like, you're nuts. You're nuts.
What could you say? That song has a real spontaneous, incredible energy to it, of beat. And one of the times I'm glad that as an artist, I was able to step back and look at it from an A&R perspective and be like, this song is going to be good. Like I knew I didn't need to be on the song from jump. You know what I mean? And yeah, I love it the way it is. It's really good. Perfect injection of energy in a way that's almost reminiscent of when Chaz comes in the middle of Hiding Places. My solo album comes in on a song called Crawl Space, and it's just like, guy is he's a presence on the mic, and definitely was great there. But Moor Mother also got him. So what can we do here?
Whatever.
Next joint. What's the next joint?
Next one is Giraffe Hunts.
Cool.
It's beautiful.
The sun, a bruised orange, cloud sparse, sky mauve. The light soft as though filtered through gauze. Pause, rolling barrel bombs to where the helicopter doors was taken off. The rotors was too loud to talk.
Leap like Dirty Diana, Prancer, stranded. 23rd neck romancer, Chancellor the weight, raps are great. Purple fields, purple haze, devil's pie, smoker's ransom. Candy flip, cameo, tongue lash, rattlesnake fast grab, I'm stuck. Foaming lip, frosty yesterday, spit shine, even when diluted. Loud bombs, I think the monkey shooting. The big up rose up like the Baltimore Putin. Talking about ain't a damn thing moving.
The zoo had a decapitated giraffe, a dedicated staff of volunteers. The acid was bad. The gift shop was packed. Congolese hands chopped and dropped in your gift bag. Seeping blood turned the gift wrap black. Marrow weeping out the cracks. Sweet king crab. Darwin screaming out his sleep. In the dream it was a laugh though. Traffic stop. I reached for my slave pads slow. Quilling ink, brittle parchment. Waved through by the sergeant.
Slip behind the theater town. Saw men draw meridians through lifelines. While we tiptoe around these landmines and fall lines. Feel the earth moving, flat earth seesaw. Me and Woods in a rickshaw getting pulled by horses. I'm hearing voices, the sky was red. And oyster shells are from paralyzes. This hell is seen distorted. Minds recorded, ways of light. The sergeant yelled, come over. His arms came cobras, I fainted on sight.
On the train home, a Maasai warrior asked me for change. I said no. They were shooting bison out the same train. Crack, lightning, gun, smoke. Not a word, just brass pinging on the floor. Expressed the 42nd, deafened by the retort of the weapons. We wound through ancient burial grounds for women who went missing. Guns sound like supercars shifting. Train called black as a scorched piston. Fly at Garrick, spores drifting. Swords slick with blood, the Lord giveth.
What redeems it is the idea only. An idea at the back of it, not a sentimental pretense, but an idea. And an unselfish belief in the idea, something you could set up and bow down before and offer a sacrifice to.
She gets
15 seconds. Having a few technical difficulties. Should be back soon. I want to do ask about the cover. What made you pick Danielle for the cover?
For me, it bounced between a couple different ideas, and then I was like, I want to look something outside of the realm where I've been looking for things, because I felt like I weren't finding something that was really working for everyone. I just started looking up some. I can't remember exactly what started me down that road. And I stumbled on something I really, really liked. I couldn't get in touch with it was basically like a ridiculously Byzantine thing, trying to find the publisher of this book or the photographer who was responsible for it. I went looking for other representations of the same thing. And eventually I found an artist to, put together the cover that we had, and all of the artwork inside it. But that's where it came from. We were looking at a couple different options and they weren't really working for me. And I think I found this photographer actually. We're taking a bunch of photos, but I could not reach them. They'd done the work for National Geographic or something, South African guy. In my looking through that same category of things like masks and ceremonial stuff, I kind of ended up where we ended up. I showed it to Kat, and she was like, "Yo, I'm messing with this one." Like, let's go.
Dope. I guess, yeah, before we go to the last one, any words about Giraffe Hunts?
Yes. First off, shout outs to Alchemist for coming through on that track, because it was something I had previously and just always liked. I kind of had this idea of this back and forth thing, and I was just really excited when Cam actually was like, "Let's do it." And I really liked the idea, and she's fearless as always. Was just like, "Hell yeah, let's do it."
Yeah, and it was really cool to rap on a beat by Alchemist, because I had really, in the past 2 years, got into these kind of instrumental albums. A lot of these hip hop producers were making, like, out on the road. And I was using this Alchemist, I can't even remember what it's called. I had 2 Alchemist songs on my computer. And so my tour in January, the beginning of before the pandemic, I would play one of his instrumentals to do like a freestyle, like if the crowd wanted something more. So I had been really, freestyling, ending my show with this Alchemist beat. So to come this kind of like full circle at the end of the year to actually rap on a track by him was like pretty cool, So I definitely extreme gratitude to Woods for roping that up, like that was really special for me. So awesome.
Yeah, first song as far as stuff that's come out, it's the first song I've ever done with Al. And yeah, a legend, obviously. Dude is on deck for a Grammy right now. So the fact that it was also easy in terms of hooking this up is really appreciated. I also appreciated that AMA was so open to doing it, because I had a very specific idea, and it's crazy, it's weird.
It was hard. Okay, this was probably the hardest track for me of the whole record, actually. I kept writing to the end. I had so many different little pieces that could get in there, but I actually had to just say fuck it. So I'm so glad whenever I see it's a lot of praise on this song. So that really feels good, because it took a lot of sweat from me You know, like I mentioned earlier, Gang for a Day, I'm jumping around in the studio, it's candy, you know. This one I was like, what does this trip look like? And then, of course, if you could hear, Woods went bananas, you know, no pun intended, like, goodness gracious. So I was just, you know, sword playing, just, you know, having fun, just tripping out. That's basically was the point, was like, yeah, you're tripping out. Why are you thinking? Just lay it down, you know? So that was appreciative for sure.
Yeah, you were the first person who went there, you know, because I had this idea and I was like, yo, and of course, like, fuck it, let's do it. So I appreciate that. Anyway, go ahead.
Shout out to Alchemist. Yeah, so we reached the end. Well, one more track for this listening session. Thank you to everyone that joined. Right now, we're going to play Portrait with Navy Blue.
Strangest way to live is in the far past, while my black people got a scar badly. Ball caps and keloids, dog tags, most of us alike. The foundation where the raft made changes, path made dangerous. Lifting off the mask to expose my aged face. Choice left marks, not a part of going ape shit. Faith, it's innate, night and day, my bitterness a waste. Blew the candles out but never touched the cake. Threw the damage out to glow within the cave. Thoughts caving in, thoughts came and went, can't resist. Had a vision of me bleeding out, metaphorically. The saints marching in, Fleur-de-Lises. Mona Lisa eyes, set for the region. Same evil, different strokes for ashamed people. A lot of niggas trying to bribe the gatekeepers. I gotta stay peaceful, truthfully a harder tie, sink deeper.
Let me come in to hold accountable the reaper. Tales from the creeper, from the bottom of the 40 liter. I guess the genre rock bottom, handcuffed to Gotham. Empty book, fuck it, we gon' write without them. Pin a cage, shank a blade. Back against the wall of space to rage. It don't matter, it's all matter. If you swing hard enough, the blood pit patter. Took a vow, I'm a spellcaster. He went first, I came after. Same chapter, second verse. Yeah, okay. Came to the show with the severed head of a demon, screaming, y'all ain't fucking with me, I ain't fucking for free. Had the timeline where y'all was whipping up salt pies. I had the neck bones, pitching peas. I asked Miss Beverly, had the vinegar and collard greens. New hour around the pigs, let the kids cut at the ankles. Put a shank through the pig's eye like thank you.
Swollen rivers, gold diggers, waist deep in the muck. Tropical heat, you caught the shivers. Uniform changed, but it be the same niggas, the same agendas. Told my kid, don't let no white man take your picture. The way these motherfuckers act, maybe you really can't take it with you. I can't call it, just call the lawyer. Told the fortune teller, no spoilers. While you were whipping water, I had grits in a double boiler. Pork belly under the broiler. Broccoli raw, olive oil, I learned the game from Miss Porter. Bow my head, one eye open, get thanks, brethren, we did it for the culture.
Navigated the beat change expertly right there. And I will say, this is one of the best sequence records. Because I'm like, really come through, it really like just slaloms right where it needs to. And then it's like, we're out of here.
Oh my goodness. And it's just so, I don't know. There's so many parts to that last track that just hits at so many different points of the record. The beat is just so good.
And I think the different perspectives of the three people, like Navy is such a raw, like he's seriously like just a really honest and sensitive, artistic, but like he's a dope rapper, all of those things tied up in one, and he's so young, and that really comes through in how he's talking about. And I like how family ties in for everybody, because everything Navy Blue does really is about family. And so I think that also propelled everything that we did in our verses, because he laid his verse first.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been given a short intermission for like 3 minutes, just in case if you want to get water or anything.
Okay.
Okay. Let me get some water.
That came in, and somebody was wondering if there's going to be a new Arm and Hammer project in 2021.
Yes. That's
Awesome.
that's easy.
I'm excited. Awesome. Yeah, I'll go to the next one. This is from CJ. I guess somebody's just asking clarification for some lyrics, and it says, did Moor Mother say, Washington head ass looking at me like you are the gas, or was it you out of gas? And what did you mean by that?
So when I'm talking about gas, I'm talking about herb. And I'm really talking about this time, and I mean, this is a terrible story, I guess, but a time in school where I dropped some herb, and the teacher found it, picked it up. So this is kind of like this kind of deep rebuttal of him, like it's just my rebuttal. Like, you Washington head ass, you old looking ass, Washington, you know what I mean? George Washington looking ass, you know what I mean? So it's just like me coming at him. So yeah, so gas, yeah. He's like, you out of gas, like I got your stash, But yeah, terrible story, do good in school, study hard, I made those mistakes so you wouldn't have to, all that kind of stuff.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Awesome. This one is from Systemic Think, and they say, first of all, thank you for the great music and for coming to the listening session. They appreciate it a lot. And was creating the album art for Brass as difficult as it was for the Shrine's album cover?
Was what?
Creating the album art.
Totally different situation. With Shrines, I knew what I wanted it to be from the beginning, and Elucid was on board. It was figuring out who had the rights to the record and getting them to the image and getting them to respond to us. That was a problem. This situation was mostly both finding something we all liked and then finding a way to get an image that we could use, because also there were people who weren't answering any sort of professional contacts, and there aren't that many images of this kind of obscure thing that we were looking for. And a lot of times it's like, once I fall in love with something, I really want that. I don't want the other thing. So, all of those challenges were apparent. So it was different types of things. I would say that this was more of a challenge because it was a bit of both. The other one was one issue. This was two.
Awesome. Thank you. This one is from Peepon, and they were wondering if you did the verses separately and just dropped them over beats, or did you discuss the theme of each track and match the lyrics with each other?
Some tracks were different. Like the Woods was just saying, had an idea about a track, or some things come organically. Sometimes I send an idea first. Sometimes he sends an idea. All a bit different.
Definitely on this, there was some sort of exchange almost always, because it's not like we ever dropped them both in the studio at the exact same time. Mm-hmm. So usually you had some information on what the other person was doing. I struggled to think of one where we both were writing completely blind. I don't think that happened at all. Everything kind of built on it. So even there were some where there were explicit discussions, and then there were others where it's like, oh, on the Blues Remembers, both sang this thing that affected what Moor Mother wrote, and I'm last. Obviously, I'm gonna build off of what everyone did in front of me. And then even though we had never discussed it, and then there were other songs where it was like Giraffe Hunts, where I had like a very specific idea, or whatever the case may be, where you might have discussed it a little bit beforehand, a little bit more.
Awesome. This one's another one from Pete Bone again. They're asking if there was anybody else who was asked to be on the album but declined.
I don't know. Declined is a specific statement, so I'd say no.
Awesome. This other one comes from Nick James, and they were wondering, what is that rattle in the Archeology instrumental?
I am not a producer, so I could not tell you.
Awesome. Don't know if we should wait for
I have to ask preservation what that is.
I think Moor Mother's connection has dropped. Give her like a few minutes, I think.
Yeah, or if there's anything specifically related to me, let me know.
Oh yeah, somebody was wondering if you could talk about your verse on Giraffe Hunts.
All of them?
Yeah, I think they wanted you to go like in depth, kind of like paint it out, I guess.
I guess in my mind, there's an aspect of the song which is coming from the idea of these. There's this group that hunts giraffes and makes like in East Africa and makes a drink out of the bone marrow of the giraffe. And then they drink it and they feel like it creates this psychedelic experience where they experience being inside of a giraffe's mind or whatever. Basically like a trip. Anyway, reading that made me think about, oh no, something about it was just inspiring me as a way to write. And yeah, it's some real psychedelic shit, I guess. Mixed with some other aspects. So I don't know. Each stanza is different, you know, like the first one is somebody like, you know, like barrel bombs in Syria or whatever, like somebody like in an aircraft where you said about such a gruesome task, but you're just noticing the beauty of the moment up there in the sky, you know what I mean? And then I feel like it just gets a little more psychedelic, but you know, that's it.
For sure.
I mean, and then other stuff, if you were like in the second verse where it's, yeah, just obviously the Congo Free State and King Leopold and the idea of the zoo as an institution, and you know, some trippy shit mixed in with all of that, I guess is how I describe it. And verse 3, I probably have to listen to it to remember what happens. But that's the idea.
Awesome. Got a question here from anyone low dub, and they say the album is like very cohesive. Was there a certain sound or concept that you guys wanted to achieve get into this record, or did you piece it together over by time?
I think that the main thing I would say is after we did Furies, we were like, it doesn't all have to be like that, but that was the joint. That might still be the best song in a way. But that was the lodestar, you know what I mean? Where you're like, all right, don't get too far away from this. This is what was dope about this collaboration.
Matt is wondering if there are any music videos in the works.
You know, I don't know. There's been a lot of talk about it. I think so. Obviously, COVID has made things much more complex, but I think so. It's funny because we did shows and we're around each other more often before we ever did a project than we are now. We have a project together, and I haven't been in the same space as Cam in like 7 months.
Sorry about that.
You know, it's all good.
My phone just died, you know.
It's a question for Moor Mother, and Eden Moore was wondering, how did you and Graham Haynes collaboration? How did that sprout?
Oh, well, I mean, I hit up Graham to ask him if he would play with me while I was opening for Limp Wrist. You know, I thought that would be really cool. I had Mark Edwards also on drums that night. That's always been me. I always collaborate with jazz musicians. You know, I've been blessed to collaborate with some legendary ones, and I love improv. You know, and what a better environment than a queer punk show to really be able to stretch out. And you know, I always love messing up the kind of age shifts and you know just what's supposed to be, you know, because at the end of the day you realize that it all makes sense, you know. So yeah, Graham's just a great guy, incredible musician, and really open.
Awesome. There's a question from BK, and this is for Moor Mother, and they're wondering which verse came to you the fastest on the album and why.
I would say Rapunzel because I love that beat. You know, that beat just was everything to me, you know, when we were first making the project. So yeah, the easier the you know, it was just such an easy beat and so beautiful. So I guess that one was that beat.
Awesome. I have a question for both of you, and this is from Milkshake, without the I. And it says, how did the process of learning how to work around each other's voices go for both parties?
Didn't have to do any work.
Speaking from
Oh yeah, go ahead, Woods.
I guess speaking for myself, it was interesting, but it was less about working around. I mean, Moor Mother just had, you know, some people half their job is already done by the voice they have, which I would say Camp A is in that camp, you know. You get the like all Chuck D had to do was come out the house. And he was halfway there. You know, you're halfway there, Biggie. You're halfway there. Just
right.
All you have to do is talk good. And she has an incredible voice. Just sounds great on record, just naturally.
Oh, you're too
But
kind.
I think for me it was more about learning how somebody else works.
Awesome. Question from CJ. and they were asking if Guinness was about the turmoil in the streets of summer 2020, or was there something more abstract, or some parts reality, some parts abstract?
Probably the last. Definitely was writing from the perspective of someone who was watching the events from a remove of sorts. And some part of it is, just creative license, obviously. But yeah, that's why it worked so well. Like I said, I thought it needed to come directly after that track because of the juxtaposition of taking you from in the midst of this uprising and this rage, the person who's like feels removed not only from that, but as you study the song, from everything around them.
Awesome. I got a question from Ian, and this one says, can you explain the title of the song Blues Remembers Everything the Country Forgot?
It comes from a line from Gil Scott-Heron, who's a big influence on me. I think some people do associate him with hip hop. I believe some of his tracks, he's definitely spinning. Great poet, great singer, great piano player, synthesizer player. I mean, he's a genius. A lot of deep stuff. I advise everyone to go into his work. Very important.
Awesome. I'm going to.
Wasn't he from DC?
I'm not sure. I can't remember.
I may have imagined that, but I think he was from DC. All right, go ahead.
Oh yeah. So I'm going to enable voice chatter now. If anybody's got a question, they could just speak up. So if anyone's got a question for Moor Mother and Woods.
Chicago. He's from Chicago.
Okay, yes, Chicago.
I'm not from Chicago, but I love to ask y'all a question.
Okay.
Just a little bit of a preface. Billy Woods, I came up to your show last year in DC. I don't know if you remember, but this was it's on this day, day after Groundhog's Day.
Wow.
I came up there from North Carolina.
Might as well have been 10 years ago.
For real.
A lot of things happened. That's that, man. Go ahead.
I just want to ask if you've been reading anything in particular recent that you would recommend. I just read Blood Meridian last month. That book is incredible. I know that's been an influence on you.
I read this woman's book, Things We Lost in the Fire. It's like weird, short, quasi-horror stories in Latin America. I read what else? As far as fiction, I don't know. That's the first thing that comes to mind to answer your question.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else have a question?
Hey, yo, I got a question. This could go for either Woods or Moore. Give me a top 3 movies
of all time.
Yeah, definitely.
Jesus.
Damn.
That's a serious business.
I mean,
I
3
like
or 5. I don't know. Give me a good rough number.
I like Bamboozled by Spike Lee.
His best movie for sure.
What else do I like? Movies. Am.
I'm
Let
a
me
big
ask
fan
you.
of Space Odyssey 2001 is a big movie for me.
A good one. That's a good one.
A revelatory moment in my life was being at Howard University and trying to get people to watch the movie and then realizing we would never make it. They would never make it because there's no dialogue for the first 20 minutes. And then I just came to the realization like it just could never work. There's no way for, and these are like smart people too. That just were not conditioned to take 20 minutes of no dialogue in a movie and watch it. I don't know. Other great movies. Old Boy, the Korean movie, obviously. Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, one of those two. Big fan of those movies.
I don't know. I like a classic like The Five Heartbeats. That's a movie I like, you know. These type of
You know, I never saw the Five Heartbeats.
You said you never what?
I never saw that.
Oh my goodness. You should watch it. That's a
I
good
never
one.
saw that.
That's a good one.
I
It's like a
like
temptation kind of thing.
Okay. I like the toy in a way that I think can only be enjoyed a person of my generation. I was like crazy movie. There was a way that they approached. There was a period of time in the 70s where I think like race was approached in a really stark ways. And the toy, Richard Pryor, emblematic of that, I think. But you also see it in little ways, like in Trading Places, and which is a little bit later down the road, or Watermelon Man, Brother from Another Planet, or whatever it was called. I guess I got off the topic of your top 3 movies.
I mean, it didn't have to be
Current
top
one
3,
I
but I
saw
mean,
was
I was just wondering
Arrival.
what y'all liked.
What'd you say?
Nah, it didn't have to be top 3. I just wanted it was nice to just to give a list off anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I like The Big Lebowski is definitely somewhere in my top 10. I don't know if I can go top 3 for that. I really like that's really tough. That's a tough call right there.
Mad cinema out there, bro. It's too tough to call.
Trading Places, while we're just talking about it, is one of my favorite comedies of all time. And then there's this movie, Synecdoche, New York, or Schenectady, New York, with Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah, Synecdoche.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Grizzly Man, Werner Herzog.
I don't know that one either.
The documentary. It's good.
Now I was saying I like this movie Arrival. Have you seen that one?
Yes, great movie.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
It's a good book too.
Yeah.
Story.
Cool. Any more questions or?
I got a serious question about college. Woods, you having been to college? Because I just turned 18 and I'm starting community college next year. As someone, I want to go into self-published writing. I was wondering if you thought college was helpful, you being a self-published artist in today's age. Well, what's
It
your...
wasn't today's age, so I can't tell you now.
That's true.
For me personally, for reasons beyond just the obvious, it was an event of tremendous importance on many levels of my life. I couldn't say that would necessarily be the case for everybody or whatever, but the places that I ended up going at the time when I ended up going, for me personally, were all the difference in my life. So can't even imagine if it hadn't been the case. I mean, I definitely never would have thought about being a rapper, I don't think. If I hadn't met Portal, which wouldn't have happened if I hadn't come to New York and known this girl, Brooke, who knew them. And even my nickname was something, a rap name or something I picked up when I was at Howard or whatever. So there's a lot of different aspects to which I also, it allowed me to leave an environment I was in that wasn't a place that I was going to be able to, it would have been a bad situation for me to be in. So all those things combined, it was good for me at the time. And I also went to school with a lot of really talented, creative people who I learned a lot from, who taught me to think a little bit differently or in a personal way, introduced me to life experiences outside of my realm of experience at that time. Also, doubling back to best movies, The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford was up there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I mean, it ain't really a question, but man, I've been on your work for so long. It's crazy. Like, I love it so much. Fan shit aside, known unknowns is like it means a lot to me. Seriously.
That's cool. Thank you.
Like I remember hearing you on Mega Graffiti. Keep living.
Yeah, for sure.
And huge props, actually. Seriously.
Thank you.
I got a question. I guess given a country to play in Africa, and you can't choose the one where you're from, which one would you pick?
Both of us are answering?
Yeah.
I'll let her go first.
Ask the question again.
What African country would you play a show in? Would you most want to play a show in?
Ooh, that is really hard.
It's a much better question for a non-African to have to answer.
Ooh, where would I want to do my first? Okay, I would say in Ghana, or no, I would say Ethiopia or Ghana. Can I say two? Because it's so hard.
Oh my God! Those are the classic African American answers.
Okay, first of all, you definitely want to go to Ethiopia. It's like you have to go to Ethiopia. No?
No, these are I'm saying I'm not disagreeing, but these are classic African American answers, diaspora answers, because you have Ghana, where your ancestors probably departed from, in all likelihood, because there was nobody selling more slaves than the Gold Coast. It was getting them out of there. You were probably from somewhere around there. And then Ethiopia, because it's the ideological
and the
sort of.
architecture, you know, I would
Yeah.
feel like I mean, but in the same way I would think the Congo also, you know, but I would want to go like I wouldn't want to do no festival, no Budweiser type of Coolers Light kind of festival, you know what I mean? So when you ask that question, you know, I'm thinking of like, you know, dream locations, you know, where I would want to do something versus, you know, on some fancy stage just smiling or some shit. You
Ghana,
know?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with Ghana. And I think that Ghana is a very easy cultural adaptation for Americans.
Oh, of course. And apparently the most welcoming, you know, throughout history.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that part of West Africa, everybody in those countries has relatives who live here or in DC or in, yeah. A
So
lot
what
of
do you
West Africa.
say? What's your answer, Woods?
Oh man. I guess to be totally honest, I would say South Africa. Because then I could go to Zimbabwe. It would be culturally
Nice.
very recognizable to me, but still different because when I was there, it was under apartheid, so it'd be different.
Mhm.
Interesting. Uh, I mean, Ethiopia, I can understand, but if you actually are from Africa, like Ethiopians, yeah, that's just the whole can of worms. I wouldn't choose there. And then Ghana, we might as well be just be in Maryland.
Oh. Oh shit. Okay.
Half of the people I went to high school with were from Ghana. I
Mm.
like Ghana a lot though, but yeah, I would probably pick South Africa. With the offset of picking someplace just because it's really crazy, like going to the Seychelles or or like Madagascar or something. Just
Oh
for the
yeah,
pure
fuck yeah.
vacation aspect, you know. If you really
Mhm.
were like, I don't care, I just want to be in a beautiful place with a per diem, then yeah, I'd probably
Right.
I'd probably pick one of those spots.
Right.
Awesome.
But yeah, South Africa would be cool. It's like penguins.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Botswana is cool too.
Botswana is landlocked, man. It's not cool. Don't lie to the people out here, man.
I think it's dope.
Doesn't nobody want to go visit Botswana for any reason. It's fine. Not cool.
Oh,
If you're not looking at the ocean, it's not cool. You would never tell somebody to come visit America to go to like Ohio. Why? Waste of your time.
for sure. Okay, so we've reached the end. Thank you for being here. It's been incredible. What an incredible project. It's just immaculate and very honored to be here because I admire everything that both parties do. So this was dope. So I'll leave the stage open if you have any closing words.
Thank you so much. Beautiful job. And
Thank
thank
you.
you to everyone that organized this. And thank you for all the love for the album. We had a lot of fun making it. And it's great to see it out in the world in all the positive response. So thanks again.
And if anyone in Ghana or Ethiopia is trying to book Moor Mother, please don't get confused. I'll definitely come out there. You can just add me on to open for her. It's minimal charge. I'll be Thank you guys for taking the time, and I had a lot of fun. Man, I'll talk to you soon. All right.
Peace, everyone. Thanks for listening.